Bandai Gashapon has finally announced a brand new Beetle set coming out next year, and they will be reinventing some classics from some older sets, namely this one and this one. So how do these new versions compare to their originals? Well, let's take a look. We'll start by taking a look at the Chiron Beetle. So what they've done is they've really upgraded the sculpt to be a lot more crisp. They use CT scans now, so it's like just fully modeled after an actual specimen. They've added accurate colors to the elytra. They've made the materials better on the horns to where they're not so warpy anymore. And I feel like they've given it an overall more life-size scale. To an extent, anyway. When you take a look at the older model, it's a little bit more bulky. It's less sleek. I will say I do have this model, and it's not very well made, unfortunately. The plastics are obviously, different textures, different finishes. The elytra on this one are actually articulated, and we did get an articulated revision as well, and it's absolutely beautiful. But this one, they didn't really do too much with the paint apps. They kind of just molded it together, and I don't think this one's based on any CT scans. So it's kind of a miss. So the fact that they've redone it in both the articulated style and in the sort of discount style where there's no articulation on the elytra and it's just kind of meant to be a very simple model is really cool. Next up we have Dynasty's Hercules, the Western Hercules Beetle. Already you can look at it and tell the paint apps are so much better. The sculpt is so much better. They even did the feelers in the front different. And they've added, hair sculpt. They've added paint to that as well. And that's always really cool because beetles do have hair on them. And when you want a model that's accurate, even if it is plastic, it adds more to the accuracy of the figure itself. When we compare it to its older counterparts, honestly, this one is not too bad. I do have this one as well. My main complaint, once again, is going to be the elytra are very loose. We haven't gotten a revision of this with articulated elytra yet. It'd be cool if we did eventually. Though, quite honestly, I think it looks best as the display piece it is with the elytra closed. But the original was actually really good. It wasn't as refined as I would have liked it to be, but it was good for the time. So the fact that they're finally redoing it, I remember I was thinking about it actually the week before I found out that this was happening. And then when I found out it was happening, I was actually at work and I was on a break and I looked it up and I literally was like, I shouted out, "Let's go, Dynasty's Grantee!" Because I was like, finally. Because this is like my favorite one. This is the one I wanted. Out of all the older ones that they had put out that I wanted them to redo, this is the one I wanted them to redo. Because out of all the old models that I have, it's probably my favorite as far as that goes. And the last of the revised classics we're getting is going to be the five-horned beetle. This thing looks absolutely amazing. It's really the sculpt that gets it, because the paint apps are pretty simple. It's mostly black, and then you've got the painted elytra. But the sculpt is just so much better. I think I'm really liking these sets they've been doing where they don't have the articulated elytra, because it just allows for a more simple display piece. They're lighter. And they have started coming out with these new boards, right? They're resin, like bark wood pieces, and you can mount the beetles on there. And these things are light enough to where they can support that. So it's really cool. Comparing it to its older counterpart, already you can tell it's just not very refined. It doesn't look horrible, but it's really bulky, very thick. The elytra is honestly pretty good considering what it is. I mean, they did like shades and stuff, and there's alternating colors, and you can see that. But it's just not quite adding up. Once again, just very bulky, not very smooth, a little thick in some parts. I think, like I said, these CT scans that they've started using are really stepping up the game with this project, and I'm loving it. I'm just absolutely loving it. So those are going to be the highlights of the set. There's also going to be the Dynasty's Hercules Pupa. They've already done 2 pupae so far, which I do have. So it's really cool that they're getting us a third. And I love that they're doing these in general because they're not just giving attention to the fully grown beetles themselves, but also the stages of the life cycle. I think it'd be cool to see more, maybe more grubs. I mean, a lot of beetle grubs look very, very much the same, I'll admit. It's not like with caterpillars where they're all, crazy different. And that's another thing. I would really love to see more caterpillars. and maybe some moths even, because they started doing butterflies, but we haven't gotten any moths. I mean, we need like Cecropia moth, right? We need silk, any of the giant silk moth family, the hawk moths especially. Death's Head hawk moth. I would love like a life-sized Death's Head hawk moth figure. That'd be so cool. It'd be like just absolutely awesome. And more on the revisions. This project is no stranger to bringing back its classics to make them better. If anyone remembers the Dynasty's Neptunus in the older set, this one actually was in the same set as the Dynasty's Granty. They went on ahead and did a revision of it last year. It's way more accurate, the paint apps are better, the sculpt is better, it's just awesome compared to this one here. As you can see here, they've got a better hair sculpt, a better paint job, it's more sleek, it's a lot more refined. I love the tufts of hair coming out the back. So the actual model itself does differ slightly from the prototype as far as the hair paint is concerned, but it's still decent in my opinion. It looks really good. Online pre-orders in Japan for this set end on the 22nd of this month, with a release date being March 2026. The set is also currently available for pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, which is where I secured mine. I am sure there are going to be plenty of eBay sellers selling this as well, though. And yeah, I look forward to getting this thing when it finally comes out. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all next time.